Berlin, it's the most populous city in the European Union. It is a global destination for tourists and business travelers, and it has a vibrant retail scene. But I want to know what is new in Berlin retail and real estate. So today we're going to find out. I am talking with Moritz Scharbatke. He leads retail leasing for JLL in the eastern region of Germany, which includes the city of Berlin. And that is right now on Everything We Know About Retail. This is the show where we tell you everything we know about retail and real estate. We broadcast live on the internet. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, but you can watch a recording whenever you want. If you go to everythingweknow.show, that'll take you over to our YouTube archive page where you can see every episode plus a whole bunch of other cool videos that we've recorded in different retail places all over the world. My name is James Cook. I research retail and real estate for JLL in the USA, and let's just get into it. Let's bring in Moritz. Welcome,
James. Welcome, and thanks for having me.
Yes, well, we're doing a series of international deep dives on different, retail cities. We're going to start with some popular European cities, and Berlin is on the top of my list. So I'm glad you could join us.
And I'm very happy to hear that, and I gladly share all the information I can give.
So let's get into it. A basic big picture question. A lot of our viewers and listeners are in North America. So set the stage a little bit. Where are the most popular places to shop in Berlin?
In Berlin, to talk in general, we count around 7 high streets in the city of Berlin. But only 2 of them are currently performing well, I would say. And I guess they have also the most international recognition. So in general, 7, but mainly 2 of them doing well. And but nevertheless, I can say our local retail leasing team was able to conclude already 5 leases in 5 different high streets of Berlin. So we are happy to have a certain spread, but the demand of retailers is more focused on 2 of the total of 7.
And what are the 2 popular high streets?
Yeah, one of them is around our famous department store called KaDeWe on Tauentzienstraße. And this street also goes up to the Kuhdamm, the Kurfürstendamm. So this marks the high street in the city west of Berlin, in Charlottenburg. And we have a second well-performing high street market, which is in the center of Berlin, in Berlin Mitte, called the Hackischer Markt. So this area is described by streets such as Rosenthaler Straße, Münzstraße, Neue Schönhauser Straße. So these are basically very German names, but maybe if someone had a connection to retail in Germany before, he can maybe get the picture of speaking about Berlin Mitte, Hackischer Markt, one of the places to be at the moment.
Yes. So what's I think so interesting is that a lot of people will travel to a city and maybe not even realize the name of the streets or the districts that they're shopping in. But if they've been a tourist, if they've been an American tourist or something and they've been to Berlin, I'm sure they've shopped in these places, even if they don't remember the names. So it sounds to me, it sounds to me like you've got some strong areas and then some not so strong areas. True. How would you describe the state of retail real estate right now in Berlin?
I see it in a market phase of recovery. So we come from a weak market phase during the pandemic. COVID-19 was all over the world, and we had strong impacts on the German retail real estate market as well. So due to restrictions from the local authorities, shops had to close. Only system-relevant shops like groceries were allowed to open, and that was like bringing expansion activities in Germany and also in Berlin, of course, bringing those activities down. And since the beginning of this year, all the restrictions from local authorities are gone, they have expired. And we saw a recovery in retail leasing quite quickly. And that started from the beginning of the year, and it endures until today. And so this is to understand where we are right now and where we came from in the younger past.
So would you say it's a tenants market that is, there's favorable retail leasing rates right now?
If it's a tenant market at the moment?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It was, but maybe referring to the first question you've asked, like where are the main areas where retailers open shops at the moment? In those markets, we already saw a reduction of availability of available stores or rental areas. So we come from a tenant market, but in some of the core areas of those prime locations, we already see a reduction of available spaces. So that might start to turn the market phase around a little bit. And maybe in some AAA locations, it's re-becoming a landlord's market again.
I see. Okay. So it's like anything else in real estate. It really depends on the specific location.
Yeah.
In North America, we always say location, location, location. I don't know.
Same here.
Okay, good. So let's get into some specifics. I know you talked about some recent leases. Who's opening? Who's signing deals? What types of retailers? What specific names can we talk about?
Yeah. First of all, maybe what types of retailers? We see a lot of international retailers coming to Berlin, having come to Berlin and having signed leases already. So the majority from our point of view would be international retailers instead of nationwide operating retailers. There are still some nationwide operating concepts, but the majority, I would say, is international. And when speaking about the branches, what kind of stores these are, we see a lot of fashion reopening stores. So speaking about fashion from Spain, from France, also from the Scandinavian countries, like a lot of sneaker fashion, young fashion. There are some popular Scandinavian brands as well. So yeah, that's really interesting to see that Berlin not only is a destination for international tourists, also for international retailers to be represented in the prime locations. And that's always a very interesting part of our job to help brands arriving here, coming here, and understand the locations they look for, and to advise them where they are best positioned, maybe to say.
And do you find, let's say a brand from outside of Europe is coming to Europe, is Berlin on the top of their list? I mean, what does that look like?
Yeah, we at the moment, maybe in this year where it's not the time to make experiments, but to get back into the strong markets. I hear a lot when talking to retailers that top 5, top 7 big cities in Germany are on their list. So starts with Berlin in the east, Hamburg in the north, Munich always on the list in the south, and also in the western part of Germany, where we have Frankfurt, for example, our international airport city and financial metropole in Germany. That's also always relevant for international retailers to be located there. So just to name a few cities, hopefully you've heard some of them, or our listeners, Berlin is among the top 5 list where retailers currently want to go.
Okay, that's great. So still in demand. So we talked about retail. Let's talk about restaurants. I know I often hear anecdotally in different cities around the world, a lot of restaurant chains are expanding, opening new locations. Are you seeing restaurant expansion in Berlin?
Yes, as well. we had the situation that during COVID, typical retailers closed down their shops. So the number of available spaces was going up, and some of them were converted or taken over by food and beverage concepts, which now also, I would say, play a vivid role in today's appearance of inner city centers in Germany in general, in Berlin especially, because Berlin always was a city where people loved to go out. And in that way, not only going out and enjoying yourself, but also like expanding the quality of stay while shopping. And so we saw also international gastronomy chains or gastronomy operators coming to Berlin, speaking about burger concepts, speaking about Italian concepts, who came from abroad and now have opened their first locations here and are continuing to expand. So we see that their first experiences will have been good. So we continue talking to them, and we're happy to hear that they continue to plan with other cities in Berlin.
Do you think?
In Germany.
Gotcha. Do you think? Do you think that Germans, or maybe folks that live in Berlin, are adventurous when it comes to food? Do you think they are always looking to try the new thing?
Especially, and I can name just a situation that I experienced on Saturday night when I was out. We met a group of young guys who said they came over from Hamburg to Berlin, but just to experience the local foodie scene, and they were following some Instagram food bloggers, and they said we had to visit Berlin and we had to come over because you have such a crazy scene here. And I met them at the local burger store, for example, and we told them, you need to go for drinks, you need to go into that direction. You need to go for dessert or something sweet after the dinner, go there. Have another thing to try over there. And that was really a nice experience that I can share with you guys. It's really worth exploring. And Berlin is a very experimental city. So they are very open-minded, not only when speaking about other topics, but also when it comes to food. We are quite an international spot where due to all the people coming to the city, they bring their own culture with them, and also that is strongly connected to food. So food is a big topic also when speaking about high streets.
I love the food trend that seems, it seems to be turbocharged by all of the websites, blogs. Here now it's TikTok is a big part of food. I don't know if TikTok is big in Germany or not.
Yes, it is. It is as well. Yeah.
But all of that is driving everybody to, when they go to a new city, it's like they have this list of places that they want to check out. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So, okay. So let's talk about development a little bit. I know, in my region, in North America, development, especially retail development, is really slowed down.
Yeah.
What is it like? Are there new notable projects, construction going on in your region?
Yeah. When speaking about Berlin, we are happy to have some projects being completed. So, but since project developments, they need a certain period of time to be planned, to be realized, and to be finished. And this we might speak about a time period of 3 to 5 years. So there is one going on in the western part of the city, which I mentioned first, the Kudamm in Charlottenburg, for example. In that area, there's a big construction site and project development going on, which will hopefully be completed by the end of 2025, within the next 2 years. And in the eastern part of the city, in Berlin Mitte, in central of Berlin, we have further 1 or 2 bigger projects. But in general, I would say we don't see that many developments at the moment. I guess or mainly surely because of the financial environment we see at the moment. So it's a difficult environment for project developers to kick off or finish their projects, and that's why we more work in existing rental areas instead of big construction or development sites.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
I think that's a
I'm
global
a
story.
little sorry that we're globally facing this issue, but
Yeah,
happy to look at better times as well, and they hopefully will come soon.
yeah. Well, something else I want to ask you about is coming up is the big MAPIC conference, which is, I guess you'd call it a European Retail Real Estate Conference. In the
Mhm.
US, we have the ICSC is our big
Ah,
conference,
yeah,
and yeah, in Europe it's MAPIC. So
uh-huh.
I know that your team is going to be sending people from Germany to that conference.
True.
What are they planning for? What are they expecting are going to be the hot topics at the conference?
Yeah, since this is the most relevant real estate fair for international expansion, we aim for a lot of good conversations with international retailers, and I'm already filling up the schedule of our head of retail leasing Germany. She will be attending, and so in our daily business where we speak to retailers, and it's of course, on the one hand, it's about expansion in the cities we are responsible for. And on the other hand, since MAPIC is ahead, we are asking them to meet us also at the MAPIC. And we are happy to hear that they will be there too, and that we have nice conversations there as well in personal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, in that vein, let's say I am a retailer chain. So, I'm a chain, I represent a chain from North America. I don't know, apparel, let's say apparel.
Mhm.
And I'm considering coming to Germany. What advice would you give me for entering your market?
Um, Make yourself well aware of which size your store should have. Because room costs are, especially in the European market, maybe speaking about Germany and Berlin, room costs are expanding when speaking about service charges, because we have these issues with heating, for example. So be sure how much space you need. Then, of course, it's the triple location issue. Like, of course, know where your client is. When I first mentioned the 7 different high streets of Berlin, they all have different qualities. Which people go shopping there? Is it more like a local relevance for more Berliners to go shopping there, or if you're an international brand and you're aiming for a location where you meet international customers, I would advise you to go more into a specific location in Berlin, of course. So make up your mind, or talk to us about the perfect size you should choose, the location you should have, and budget the right amount for rental costs. And we gladly advise you on where you would be well or best positioned. And yeah, look forward to having you then here soon.
All right. Well, as soon as I get I'm on the next plane well, I guess I would probably fly to Frankfurt, right? And then what do you drive from Frankfurt? Is that in whatever?
No,
Doesn't
well,
matter.
it's easy to take the train, for example. So yeah, but also flying is not a problem, and that was never an issue to get the right people here. So gladly to share our experiences on that as well.
All right. Well, while I'm expanding my new concept that I just made up,
Yeah.
where's your favorite place to shop in Berlin? Where would you take me to see the best retail?
Yeah, I would highly recommend the city center of Berlin, or the eastern part, called Berlin Mitte. And in that quarter, there's a quarter named Hackischer Markt, which I mentioned as one of the 2 best performing markets, retail leasing markets at the moment. So in this area in Berlin Mitte, we see quite an international, trendy customers or clientele. And we already counted around 13 new leases there within the last 10 months. So it's really like trending. And we saw a lot of international brands coming there already. And what I like most about this quarter is that you have the variety of shops as in a shopping center, but being located in nicely smaller old buildings. So like They have this certain atmosphere that they've been there for the past years, and this whole quarter grew with all the concepts, all the retailers that came there. And so it's nice for shopping because it has a certain boutique character, you can say, on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's located in a district where it's nice to go out. So if you get tired from shopping and experiencing all the nice brands we have around there, meet me up to join me in some Instagrammable food spots, or to go out for a nice drink, or recover with having some good food. So there are also nice gastronomy concepts besides shopping, and so you can easily spend a day there and seeing a lot of different places, nice spots, and also cultural life. It's rich of cultural life around there. So you have quite a nice mixture of shopping, food and beverage, and leisure activities. And I'm happy to show you around.
I love it. What is coffee? Is there a coffee culture in Berlin?
Yeah. Have you heard about the third wave of coffee or something?
Yeah.
And this took place in Berlin as well. So we have Scandinavian concepts. We even once I tried a cold brew coffee. That was really strange to me because I tend to have my coffee warm. But even cold brew coffee, coffee specialties all over the place. And it's I'm still wondering, but they managed to bring queues in front of their stores, and coffee is still a thing where that people love, and also the combination to sweets or bakeries, and they do that quite well to get customers an experience around coffee. And we have a lot of nice coffee shops here as well.
Well, it's funny you mentioned cold brew, because that is very popular in the US. Very popular. I think to the point where maybe, if I had to guess, almost half of the people who get coffee when they're out will get a cold brew. Occasionally I will if it's hot outside, but I'm a hot coffee person like you. Well, Moritz, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love catching up and learning about different markets around the world. We're going to be doing more of those in the coming weeks. And I'm so glad you were able to kick it off with me with a conversation about Berlin and Germany. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Moritz. If you want to check out all of our episodes of Everything We Know About Retail, you can head on over to everythingweknow.show. You can also listen to our audio podcast called Where We Buy. That's over at wherewebuy.show. And if you want to read every retail research report, and heck, we write research reports on all kinds of things all around the world, you can head on over to jll.com. So this is Everything We Know About Retail. What did I learn about retail today? Well, today I learned that Berlin is a vibrant retail city that international retailers around the world are still looking to open new locations in. If you want to learn more about everything we know about retail, you can join us here again next time.